All right, Shalom ahchwath. All right, this is Ahchwath. I'm gonna give all praise and glory to Yahweh ahchwath. All right, quick video for you brothers. All right, now I wrote it down the best that I could. I'll be able to explain it better in words, but I will. I also took a picture of this, so I'll send it to you brothers as well. But this is a quick video just so y'all can go back and watch it. I'm gonna try to make it in like 4 minutes, 5 minutes at the most. All right, so I just read it real quick and then explain it. So savings, financial literacy, right? Says the goal is to pay yourself a salary out of every paycheck and to save money while also paying bills and expenses. First, you determine whether you pay yourself weekly or bi-weekly. This must be a realistic amount. So to determine whether you pay yourself weekly or bi-weekly depends on how you get paid. Of course, if you get paid bi-weekly, so every 2 weeks, you will pay yourself every 2 weeks. But if you're someone who makes and gets paid every week, every Friday, every Thursday, whatever, then you can either pay yourself by the week or you can pay yourself every 2 weeks. It's up to you. All right, so it says, this must be a realistic amount that fits your lifestyle. You can make adjustments as necessary. So for example, if your monthly salary or income is $2,000 a month, right? And you make every 2 weeks $1,000. Then your expenses, you got rent, phone bill, Wi-Fi. So I did rent at 800, phone bill at 50, Wi-Fi at 50. And then I just summarized it like all other bills totaling $400. You know, that could be car note, car insurance, you know, credit card, dumb shit. You know, anything else brothers got that they got paid for, right? So let's just say it all totals up to an estimate of $1,300, right? So that's your total expenses, and your income is $2,000. If you do the math on that, that's roughly like 65–70%, which is not terrible. But you know, there's always room for improvements. So if you subtract 2,000 by 1,300, you got a total of $700 of extra income or disposable income, whatever way you look at it. Now, this is how you would pay yourself. So for example, let's just say you pay yourself $200 every 2 weeks. That $200 is going to be used for, matter of fact, let me finish you pay yourself, I'm gonna just real quick and then I'm gonna go back and break it down. So $200 every 2 weeks. So that means you'll pay yourself a total of $400 a month. It's personal. So if you take 700, which is your total extra income, subtracted by what you pay yourself, 400, you get a total of $300. Now that $300 is going to be specifically for savings. You throw that into a separate account. You're just going to build that up every month. That's your rainy day fund, you know, for accidents, you know, anything that can happen. Put my phone on do not disturb real quick. All right, so it says if you only spend $150 that pay period, so you only spend 150 out of that 200, you have $50 left over. Now, the next week that next pay, you're only gonna pay yourself the difference. So you're not gonna pay yourself the full 200 because you have $50 left over. You're only gonna pay yourself the difference to make it a total of 200 for the next 2 weeks. So you'd only pay yourself 150, now you have 200. It says the remaining should be transferred to the savings fund. So that extra $50 that you naturally would have paid yourself, you're gonna throw that into your savings account. So now your savings account is getting like a bonus check. So and then I put the exception for not transferring the remaining is if you're saving for something personal. So like, let's say for example, you want to buy a PS5, it's $700. You can only pay yourself $200 a week. You know, that $200 is going to be gas, eating out. So like this 400 right here are all other. This can be groceries, but like this 200 would be like eating out, you know, going to Chick-fil-A or dumb shit that's not necessary, or buying some clothes, or let's say you buying wine, you know, or I don't fucking know, you need to buy some new gloves for MMA or something. So the exception is if you're saving for something personal. Like if you want to buy a PS5, it's $700. Then if you budget yourself for the next couple weeks and that money that the 200 that you pay yourself, if you only use 100 of it every week, then what you do is when you pay yourself the 200, just pay yourself the 200 that you originally do and let it build up. Then once you get your 700, you should have more than 700 actually. And then you buy your PS5. And that's how you budget. Now, if it's something 100% necessary and you need it, then do what you got to do. But if it's not necessary, this is all about discipline, okay? Paying yourself that amount is discipline and living off of that. And it's going to be rough at first for a lot of brothers, but the point is, after a while, you get so accustomed and comfortable with living off of $200. The goal is to build the savings account, and not only just the savings account, but you can also build because you have this $1,300 a month. You're going to make sure you always keep at least $1,300 in your checkers account. So this $200 you would put in your savings account, because all your bills come out of your checkings account. So you you make sure you got at least $1,300 in your checkings account. So when you pay your bills, they can come straight out. That $200 you pay yourself, you transfer that to your savings. Now you can do two things with it. You can either go to the ATM and take out $200 cash, and then that means you're not swiping your card for anything. Or you can take $100 cash and leave $100 in a bank. So if you did, for example, have to swipe your card for something, let's say $50, because they don't take cash, or you just had to buy it online or whatever, something personal, what you would do then is you would transfer 50, because when you spend money on your card, it comes out of your checking. So now you're taking away from this $1,300 that's for your bills. So what you would do is you would transfer $50 from your savings to your checking. So now, let me make it a little more simple if you brothers are not picking it up. Let's just say 1 month you start with an even 2,000, right? You got $1,300 in your checkings account where all your bills come out. Where anytime you swipe your card, use your card, comes out of your checkings account. You transfer 200 of your personal money for you to do whatever you want to do for yourself. If you go and buy a pair of sneakers for $50, but instead of using cash, the cash, like let's say you didn't go to the ATM and take 200 out. Let's say you swiped your card for 50. Now, you'll have $1,250 in this account, in your checkings account, but you'll still have $2 in your savings. Now, you transfer 50 from your savings to your checkings. Now, this would be $1,300 again, but this will only be $150. So now you only have $150 left until you get paid again, if that makes sense, right? So the goal is basically get used to living off of $200. This will help you discipline with, unnecessary spending. It'll make you really think like, damn, do I really need this right now? Do I really need these sneakers? They're $150. Do I really need this? So, it all comes down. It's two different ways you can do it. So you can just keep putting that extra $300 into your savings every month. It's $300 a month that you save. Or you can do it this way, where it says you only pay yourself the difference if you don't spend the whole 200 in the 2 weeks. But once you spend that 200 for that 2 weeks, it's a wrap. You're going to have to be on some fucking eating ramen noodles and fucking mayonnaise sandwiches until you get paid again. That's how you discipline yourself. So you can do it that way, where you only pay yourself the difference if you don't use the whole 200. Or if you want, you could also build this pot. So you have a savings, you have a bills, and then you have a personal. So your bills, you need to have at least $1,300 in there. Your savings, you'll put $1,300 in there every month. And personal, you're putting $400 total for the month. Okay? This is monthly. Now, monthly account. Let's just say accounts, right? So if you don't use 200 every time, the full 200 every time you get paid, you can build this pot if you want. Build it up. Till in 3 months down the line, let's say you got $600 in your personal funds, but you're still paying yourself 200, but your savings account is still growing because you're still putting 300 every month. Then you may decide, let me just throw an extra 200 in my savings. I got 600 of personal money. I don't need it. And that's where the flexibility starts to come in. Or what you could also do is you can build your bills pot and start throwing extra money in there. So the next thing you know, 3 months down the line, you know your monthly bills are $1,300. You can have like 2,000 in that account. But it doesn't really matter because the savings, the point of the savings account is for rainy day, for the in the event that you can't get this 1,300 for whatever reason. Let's say you got to be out of work for a month because of an injury or some shit. You know what I mean? That's what this for. Or if you stop working, or if you take a pay cut, shit like that. But the extra personal money could also be used to pay down debts, to lower this amount, right? Let's say this is comprised of like phone, you can lower your phone bill, or you can pay off credit cards, or you can pay off any loans that you owe. You can start using some of that extra personal money to eat away at credit cards, but focus on one thing at a time. Now, I try to make that as quick as possible. It's not really something you can summarize in 5 minutes, but 11 minutes, that's what it is. I'm gonna take a picture of this and I'm gonna send it to you brothers in a chat so you can see it. So hopefully y'all understood what I was when I broke that down. But if y'all have any questions, y'all can just talk to me.